In previous lessons, we talked about some of the literary techniques that our author used, but this time we're going to focus specifically on the type of techniques that are used for persuasion. And we're going to take it one step further, and we're going to talk about how you can incorporate persuasive techniques into your writing. First, let's talk about repetition. Repetition is crucial. A person can't agree with you if they don't truly get what you're saying. Think about it this way. If someone's trying to sell you a product but you don't really understand what it does, you're probably not going to buy the product. Of course, there's good repetition and bad repetition. Authors should make your point in several different ways. You can tell them directly, you can use an example, you can give them a story, or you can use a quote from another person. Think about our reading. Our author will often mention, for example, the idea of brick walls being something you need to overcome. Well, he doesn't just state that outright, he also gives us examples where he overcame a brick wall. He tells us stories about others who had a similar experience, and he gives us a quote from his dad, for example. These are ways that you can have repetition without making it obvious. The next idea is pretty simple. Give them reasons why. Remember the power of the word because. Psychological studies have shown that people are more likely to comply with a request if you simply give them a reason why. This strategy itself does make sense if you think about it. We don't like to be told to do things or asked to take action without a reasonable explanation. And so remember, when you're giving when you're writing persuasively, that you need to make sure that you explain the why behind either the position you hold or the action that you're asking people to take. Social proof. Looking for guidance from others as to what to do and what to accept is one of the most powerful forces in our lives. Other obvious examples of social proof can be found in things like testimonials and outside referrals, and it's the driving force behind social media. Think about how you might choose to take a class, for example. You might ask your friends, did you like that teacher? Did you like the class? And you take their referral, and that helps you decide whether or not you want to have that experience. You can also casually integrate elements of social proof into your writing, and these can range from subtle references to outside authorities to blatant name dropping. Think about some of the names that are dropped throughout this story, and this is a way that the author can draw from the authority of others. It's like an illusion in that he's connecting what he feels and what those famous people or those authorities feel, and it adds a little credibility to what he has to say. Next is the idea that you need to address objections. So if you present your case and someone is left thinking, yeah, but, well, you've lost. Addressing all of the potential objections of at least the majority of your readers can be tough. But if you really know your subject, the arguments against you should be fairly obvious. If you can't think of any arguments against you, then that means you probably don't know your subject that well. And you need to think about what are the major arguments and then try to address them in your writing. Last, storytelling. Our book is a perfect example of this. Storytelling is really a catch-all technique. You can and should use it in combination with any and all of the previous strategies. But the reason why storytelling works so well lies at the heart of what persuasion really is. Stories allow people to persuade themselves, and that's what it's really all about. Do everything you can to tell better stories, and you'll find that you are a terribly persuasive person. Look at the last lecture as the perfect example. Why does he incorporate all these stories from his childhood, from his experiences? Why does he tell us about things that he did wrong or he got wrong or his failures? Because he knows that the stories will persuade us in a way just giving us a list of advice won't.